don't, you're seen as a worthless woman. You're seen as a half woman. Your husband can beat you, and your husband can beat you senseless. His mother will always tell him how I'm the kind of woman that's going to run all over him. Even my mom told that to my father, that I'm going to run all over him. All I wanted to do was go chase my dream.
He literally was irritating my soul, just getting on my nerves.
Emergency account? That's crazy. Bro, so you want me to go to my savings and give you $10? Yes. I was trying to make you ask me for the $10.
We be getting blinded by some pain, okay? And the red flags do be there, and you just ignore it. Annoyance, as I'm trying to tell you guys the story of this marriage that is definitely done. So anyway, y'all, how to get married and divorced in a year, African style. Let me give you that. If you don't know African custom or African tradition, African women are not raised to ever believe in divorce. When you get married, you die. You die there. You understand? You die there. And if you don't, you're seen as a worthless woman. You're seen as a half woman. Your husband can beat you, and your husband can beat you senseless if you leave your weak. Yeah. That's African culture. I got married to my husband, and mind you, I didn't even want to get married to an African man. I really wanted to. I didn't even think I was getting married, period. Honestly, I never saw that for myself. I grew up in a household where my father was super abusive. He married my mom when she was 14, cheated on her, abused her kids, and she never left because, oh, they have a bunch of kids. She just wanted so badly to be in a two-parent household, because that's another African thing. Like, you have to be in a two-parent household. It just shows that you're just so normal. Not knowing that a lot of African kids who come from two-parent household are up. I mean, so hence my husband and myself. Now, I'm not telling you guys this thing because I'm saying that, like, I don't have issues, or I have my issues, but at least me, I've been to therapy. I don't fight my demons and tie them and put them in the back. I don't put them in the backyard. You understand? My husband, he didn't even know he had demons till he met me. In African culture, if your husband abuses you, you stay. Look at Davido and Chioma. African women are raised to believe that abuse is how you know you're married. If your husband isn't abusing you or treating you like you married, but as long as he buys you Gucci, Fendi, Prada, you're married. It's okay. You can stay. Okay. My husband and I, my husband's younger than me a little bit, and we got married after 3 months of dating, and it was beautiful at first.
Whoa, married after 3 months of dating? I guess they're from Africa. She's from Africa too. But let me let her finish.
Until I met my in-laws. I'm going to leave it at that. Come back for part 2.
All right, so let me bring you guys up to speed. This is what's happening. She is an African woman, right? But there's a big thing. She moved to America, and they call it what? The land of the free and home of the brave. This is what happened. You guys are going to see in part 2. She moved out to America, became a rapper, started OnlyFans, pretty much adopted the black culture, the toxic black culture. I made a video about it yesterday about how black people are starting to get tired. Well, we've been tired, but starting to get tired of that toxic black culture. She adopted it. Why? I understand some African parents are strict. They do that to keep you away. What you went to America and did. Now that I have you all up to speed, let's get into the next video. And the next video is going to explain exactly what I just mentioned to you.
So, sorry guys, I didn't put part 2 up immediately, but here we are. How to get married and divorced in a year, African style. I told you guys, it really changed. Things really changed my husband and I once I met his in-laws. Now, you gotta understand something, and I want you guys to like hear me. I met his parents virtually, his siblings. I've met them in person, the ones that are here in the States and the ones that are back in Nigeria. I'm Igbo, he's Yoruba. That's the first thing we gotta understand. Okay. let's begin this story. And I'm sorry if I hop in and out of my African accents, my people. This conversation must hit correctly, okay? People have to understand it, not just BK. American people, also Nigerians and Africans have to understand my dialect. So let me tell you guys, part 2. So when I tell you in-laws this is a case of childhood trauma. This is a case of someone, my husband especially. My husband is a very nice guy. And I'm not saying this like I divorced my husband because my husband is a horrible guy. My husband is a person who needs to grow, and his naivety really created a problem, especially when it came to seeing his flaws or his family flaws. And I was like, I was by myself in one corner, and it was him and his family. Okay. So part of the red flags I saw was on our wedding day. You probably don't know me. I'm not into big weddings. I'm not into big African situations. I'm not into all that. It's not my thing. I never even wanted to get married, let alone come and do all the African nonsense. It's not my thing. So my husband's family, actually, his siblings that were here in the States, on our wedding day, they ended up being late. It's not even late, they didn't even show up. They said they overslept, they miscat, whatever it was. I didn't care. I got my dream wedding, which was my husband, my 2 best friends there. That was it. That's really what I wanted. And we went to a restaurant and enjoyed it. They showed up at the restaurant. That's one. 2, you gotta understand in African culture, I'm not the traditional African woman. I'm born and raised in Nigeria. I be Igbo babe, correct? You understand? But I'm not the traditional African woman. I never wanted to be. You see my tattoos. My back is covered. I'm half naked on Instagram, always, comfortably. I have OnlyFans, you see it. These are all things my husband knew before we got married. And before I even married this man, I made sure, and I still took to today, that's not his, he doesn't care about that, and he never does. This is that false westernized thing. It's crazy how African people will tell you they hate tattoos and it's so ghetto and all that, but this is what we grew up. Body modification. I saw my great-grandfathers. I knew how they looked. I knew how my grandmothers looked. But in the Western world, they try so hard to be whitewashed and to fit into American customs. And I knew his family had their, their issues and their displacement for me, being that they are conservative Yoruba family and all that. But before I married my husband, I made sure he told his family that I'm a rapper, up and coming rapper. Make sure they know that I'm tatted. Like, I was very honest because that's how I live my life. I know the life I want to live. I'm not living it to come and make people happy.
This is what happened. She saw how it was in America. So, I can't wait to go there. African girl, I can't wait to go there. So what did she do? This is why I named it Tatterdist. She stepped foot, transformed. Chiquisha.
Sorry I'm late. I was taking in a harmonious moment between a serene butterfly and an unruffled caterpillar. Such tranquility.
Not a rapping. Doing OnlyFans. You guys got to see her Instagram, right? She don't got no breast. She's going, like, what are you doing? And then she doesn't even care. Nobody came to the wedding. They didn't come to the wedding. They know you do OnlyFans. They know you're a rapper. I actually saw one of her rap songs, and she's trying to be like who? Like Nicki Minaj and all of them? Sounds just like them. Doesn't sound like Nicki Minaj, but yeah, rapping like them, doing OnlyFans. Nightmare. And the family's from a Christian background. So what do they see when they look at her? They see Satan. Let me let her finish.
I know my life. I know who I want to die and be. My name is Independence for a reason. My name no be Jessica.
Independent black woman.
After we got married, I started noticing, like, especially his sisters, like little small things they would say here and there. One day, his oldest sister, who's like, she's a Bible thumper, like real up there, real one with the Lord, okay? One day she calls me on FaceTime, and she's like, hey, I've been really looking on your Instagram. I've been really watching your music videos and all that. And I just wanted to know, are you ready to give your life to Jesus? Hold on, this phone is getting hot. Give me 1 second, y'all. I apologize, my phone was getting hot. I needed to cover it. Now, as I was saying, the sister calls me and was like, she's been looking at my videos on my Instagram, and she just wanted to know if I was ready to give my life to Christ. And you guys gotta understand, African culture, right? A lot of these so-called conservative women or their conservative views is really just religious views. It's not really truly like religious views. It's just their judgmental, westernized religious views.
You know what's the wild thing? Africa is one of those places. Not all of Africa, but a large section of Africa has a big Christian population. They have a lot of Muslims too. But it's one of those places where you can find those women of the elk. You can find them in the Philippines too. Women who still believe in the old ways. That's why guys are becoming passport bros. They're trying to get away from her. See, this modern woman, but she's in America. But still, guys are trying to get away from her and find one of those ladies out there in Africa. One of the ones, maybe her sister, right? Oh, Bible thumper, okay. You married? You look good. If you a Bible thumping woman and you got the badonka-donk, the big sticking out way to here, God's trying to marry that. You know what I'm saying?
Because this is a place where my grandmother, since I lived in the village, is with Rapa. I grew up, I didn't know what bra was till I came to America. You honest, I didn't even wear underwear till I came to America. Okay, so now she's calling me and have the audacity to come, and she said it like it was just so simple, like, hey girl, like, you know, are you ready to bring your life to Christ? Like, they knew I don't go to church, never want to go back to church. Religion is not for me. Those fraudulent people, let them be. In Nigerian custom, women will be dying in their marriage, but as long as they go to church on Sunday, they are better than you. And I get it because, you know, they wear the long skirts, they're conservative, they don't really talk back, they're all crisscross, feet crossed. I'm not that. Are we blind? I'm not that. From Ashawo, Mami, whatever title makes you feel better, call me. I don't care. It doesn't bother me because I know who I am. I'm happy. So in this situation, she called me, whatever. I told her, I said, sister, it's not me and you. I don't judge you. Live your life the way you see fit, but please don't call me asking me something like this again. So I called my husband when he came back. I told him, call your sister. Tell her to respect herself. Don't come at me like that. Okay. So this time, I don't know if you checked the sister. I don't care. I've already checked that. I moved on. So you guys gotta understand, I'm an up-and-coming rapper in the African community. My name is Miss Georgie, up-and-coming rapper. I got married to my husband, and I was planning on going to Nigeria in October to do the leg tour of my Nigerian trip. To do a tour in Nigeria, get myself really acclimated into the Nigerian market. And my husband knew that before we got married. This is planned. So when we started talking about it, and I was gonna go to Nigeria and stay for a couple of months, all of that, my parents, who again, I don't really have a good relationship with my parents. I only really connected with them because of my husband, me getting married, and also my mom's obsession with wanting to have a big grand wedding and all that, show off to her friends that the failure black sheep of a daughter that she has, me, got married. Growing up, my mom would always tell me all the time, because of the traumas, being a sexual assault survivor and everything, she would always tell me that no man would love me if they knew about my trauma. And she truly believed that. My mom truly believed that because I was a sexual assault victim, like, no man would find me desirable. That's her deluded, because she was assaulted and she doesn't think that she had value in herself, I guess, but she projected onto me. So she wanted to show the world that, oh, her failure of a black sheep daughter actually is getting married. Anyway, that's another topic that we'll get into. But when it came time for me to go to Nigeria and go do this, my husband knew. My parents, his parents, tried to convince him that no man will let his wife go to Nigeria. Like, you guys, you would think I was going to Nigeria to go home. It don't be home. This is me. This is what I do. Like, my music I do here in America. And I'm trying to go chase my dream over there. Not that if I blow tomorrow now, this man will eat. Their child will eat forever. Their businesses will benefit, because now they can say Miss Georgie is their daughter-in-law, blah, blah, blah. They'll leverage, yo. They told my husband that he's not being man. he's not being a man, and that he shouldn't allow his wife to go to Nigeria. And how can he just, like, they made it this whole religious thing that the Lord in the Bible said that no man should be leaving her husband so early. I don't know what church and what Bible they were reading from, but apparently that's what they told him. Translated to me. His mother will always tell him how I'm the kind of woman that's going to run all over him. Even my mom said that to my father, that I'm going to run all over him. All I wanted to do was go chase my dream. All I wanted to do was go put consistency into work. That's it, though, my people. It's not like I asked this man for a grand wedding, or it's not like I was asking him to have kids. It's not like I was asking him.
She has no idea about the music industry. What do I mean? You guys see all of the things happening in the industry. Woman getting slut bucketed out for nothing. She was definitely going to walk all over him. She just didn't know it yet. Bound to happen. They were right. A lot of these ladies have no clue. You guys get it. Like, a lot of things you see on the internet, when you see, what's his name? Cat Williams, Charleston White, other people talk about these things, they're right. They're telling the truth. Those things happening in the industry is really happening. And she doesn't look at that. She's not aware. She just raps and independent woman all about herself. Oh, I got my college degree. The worst.
Birkin. My people, I just wanted to build. My husband proposed to me with a Swarovski ring. You understand? Okay. That one didn't bother me. I was okay. I understood that he would build himself. He would get there. If this video ends, come back for part 3. Because this story needs to be told in totality. And I can't rush it. I want to really break down each one. Because I had a beautiful marriage until I touched ground in Nigeria and met my in-laws. And the pepper these people put in my eye, if I'm lying, I'm dying. I have screenshots and I have witness evidence. I will call people right now that will back me up in the nonsense that I tolerated in this marriage.
No, guys, there's no need for me to go into part 3. Why is that? You guys gotta understand, and I'm sure you do. She gave us everything we needed. You came over here and made yourself a modern woman, and you wonder why the African family rejected it. Even your mother said you were no good. Even I'm gonna say you're no good. All of the people down in the comments, is she no good? What's your answers? Let me know that in the comments. Because you need to understand, and we're not looking at you like, oh, we're this way, we're good citizens and you're not. No, it has nothing to do with that. Doesn't even have nothing to do. It has a lot to do with Christianity. But it doesn't. It's actually what's moral and immoral. And everything you're doing is what people are trying to get away from. Men and women.
Real talk.
So this would be part 1 of me telling how Mother's Day weekend ended in a divorce for me. We have been together for about 7 years. November would be 8 years. And we've been married for about 10 months. We got married last year, July 13th. So we're about 2 months shy from our 1-year anniversary. I do want to say I'm not here to bash him or talk down on him. I just want to bring awareness on certain things, light on certain things that happen in relationships. On the outside, my relationship looked perfect, but it's not, we're not perfect people. We all make mistakes. So let's keep it respectful in the comments, please. So I want to start out by saying that it started off with small things that I let slide. The first initial thing when we first moved into our home together, which was about 3 years ago, I felt like something was going on because our chemistry was off. Like we were arguing. He literally was irritating my soul, just getting on my nerves. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of out the norm. Let me see what's going on. Decided to go through his phone, check Snapchat, and I seen that he was communicating with this young lady. He said it was a friend, but I don't know who will comment on their friend's body, or what you're waking up every morning telling this person good morning before you tell me good morning, and you're also telling her my personal business, which I didn't really like. I'm a very private person when it comes to certain things. even me doing this is very embarrassing, but I feel like it needs to be told. So that was the first initial problem. We got into a huge argument. We broke up. We talked about it. He said he would not do it again. He see how disrespectful it was. Initially, when I brought it to his attention, he decided to not take accountability, try to flip it on me, and that's what caused a huge argument. We decided to come back together and continue the relationship. The second instance was when we went to a Halloween party for his friend. She was going away, so she did a huge Halloween party for everyone to come over. We're drinking, we're playing games. I go outside on a patio where he was sitting, and he decided to get up and go get him another drink. So he gives me his phone. And again, prior to that, I felt like something was going on because for the past 3 years since we moved into our home, there was a lack of intimacy. And if you catch my
$100 bill that we gotta pay every month, yes, am I paying them bills? Why? Because I have no choice but to pay them bills. The money he make, that ain't gonna pay our bills. An emergency
Bro,
account?
that's crazy, bro. So you want me to go in my savings and give you $10?
That's not what I said.
Your savings, that's the whole point I was trying to make when you asked me for the $10.
What's going on?
Girl, you done married a man that's so broke he can't even afford to pay
Wow.
attention. See, this is the that you should be looking out for before you even get married, because I'm quite sure it was red flags all throughout. A man should already be established by the time he meet his wife, not up for debate nor negotiation. And a woman should already have her together by the time she get to her husband. You know how much stress that is on a woman to have to pay $4,300 a month when she got a big able-bodied husband and they're doing all that and being emotional because he acting like he can't give his wife $10. Girl, you gotta test your man to see if he can even give you $10.
No. She can't leave him now. She married him. And what do they say? To rich and poor, till death do us part. She's stuck. That's number one. Number two, the boy's a man child. To be jumping up and down like that and screaming like that, it's crazy, right? But he's jumping up and down like a woman. He shouldn't be doing that. But she's stuck though. And this is what happens. This is what happens when ladies go how they feel. He said all the right things. He did all the right things at the moment. And she went with it. Instead of asking questions, you're right about that part. She should have asked questions to find out what kind of guy he is. And she would have known, wait a minute, hold up. Where you work at? Oh, you work there? She knew he was working there. Why did you marry the guy? You knew he didn't have no money, but you married him anyway. Wow, because he was handsome.
Pookie is never the better option. He's just the easiest option to find because a lot of men are Pookies. So the probability of being able to run across one is very likely because there's a lot of them out here on the dating scene.
That's what you want? That's what you have to settle with because you're married.
Girl, what are you doing? What are you doing? I haven't paid a mortgage since I've been with my husband. I've been with my husband for 15 years. And my husband's motto has always been this. Do not let a woman pay your way. Do not let a woman pay anything for you. You have your together and be a man, because I'm going to tell you something. You won't respect, you won't ask, you won't all of this, but you can't even hold down the fort. You a man. That's the difference if you done been with your man and something, God forbid, something happened to him, which happened to my husband, a medical emergency. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you step in and you hold that down. But that, absolutely. He hollering and screaming over giving you $10, but then he talking about, I need to go outside and smoke. How the you got money to pay for something to smoke with, but you ain't got money to pay what you need to pay? Your priorities. How you got money to smoke, but you ain't got money to give your wife? I hate to say it, but a lot of the times, women, we get blinded. We be getting blinded by some ping, okay? And the red flags do be there, and you just ignore it. And then, you know what I'm saying, sometimes you marry this man, or you with this dude, or you have kids with this.
Yeah.
And then you get upset and you get stressed out because you realize he not stepping up to the plate. Well, he wasn't stepping up to the plate to begin with. So what are we doing? No man should be that comfortable with letting his woman pay $4,300 a month like that and hollering and screaming over $10. Hollering and screaming at the top of his lungs over $10. Baby bye.
You know, see me, I'm a thinker. And when I look at the kid, I look at generations, right? her husband may be from my generation or from Generation X, but when I was born, pretty much I was raised with Generation X, the end of it. I was born in 81. So I was raised on the tail end, literally 1 year off. I'm the first year of millennials. And so I bought in all the techs and gadgets and all of those things. And it's funny, I worked at a place that was selling it, Radio Shack. Before it closed down, I worked there selling cell phones at 18 years old. I jumped right into sales, jumped headfirst into sales. I told you guys my story. That's what I did. So that boy, because he's a boy, wasn't doing those things, I'm sure. Wasn't applying himself. And when you don't apply yourself, you're in trouble. It's like I reacted to a video and I see a brother, Don P. He said, he's a pastor bro too. He said when his daughter gets older, he's gonna make sure she doesn't have to do certain things. I won't necessarily do that, but what I'm gonna do with my son, because right now he's not with me, right? Like he comes with me for the summer. He was with me last summer before that. But what I'm gonna do is when he graduates high school, when he is done with everything in the summer, I told his mom, that boy doesn't need to go to college, because I'm not saying he won't ever go to college. I'm saying he doesn't need to go to college right away, because I see my son is lazy. So what do I have to do? As a father, I love him to death. Reprogram that mind, right? Get him away from his mom, from being coddled, right? Being stubborn, being spoiled. She babies him. He needs to be taken out of that. Pretty much put in the army, because I tell my son all the time, "You're in the army now." Every time he comes to me, every song, "Oh, you're in the army now." I sing that song to him because that's what it is. I don't play. And my wife is very strict too. So when he comes here, he gets in line. And she has been putting him in line. That's what I'm going to do for him. But let me get on to the next video.
And Tamar took out his gun and pointed it at Mark and asked for his bag. Mark refused to give him the bag. So they all started hitting him. And Tamar was hitting him with the gun. And the whole time I didn't look back. But when I did, I saw his face. And I started telling them to let him go. And Jalen opened the door and started pushing him out. And he was fighting to get back in the car. And then they didn't let him in the car. So he went around the car and he jumped on the hood. And the light turned green.
Okay. Once the light turned green, what happened?
He pointed the gun at me and told me to start driving. So I started driving. I didn't know where to go. So I turned into the first place that I saw, which was the Chick-fil-A. Once I turned into the Chick-fil-A, he kept yelling at me to get him off the car. I didn't know how to, so I was just going back and forth really quickly. And then Mark take the windshield and opened the door and shot him.
Okay.
He just...
All right. You see the person that shot Mark Anthony Saldivar in the courtroom today.
Yes.
Would you please point to him and identify him by the article of clothing he's wearing?
Man.
He's wearing a white shirt.
After the defendant shot Mark Saldivar in the Chick-fil-A parking lot, where did you go? What happened?
Traumatized him.
He wanted me to keep driving because he didn't want the cops to get there. So he had directed me through the window to drive, and I went down the access road and took the first left and stopped at a Mexican restaurant.
Can you please describe to the jury the demeanor of Timor McIntyre and Jalen Bell at the Mexican restaurant once you all got off the vehicle?
They were kind of going back and forth, and then Jalen applauded him and gave him a high five, and they high-fived each other, and Jalen said, "You caught your first body."
He said, "You caught your first body." Did I hear that right? Wow. This kid, man. You know what he didn't realize? He traumatized that girl. She saw a man pass in front of her eyes. That's what she saw. And I understand why she's telling too. She's not a gangster. She's not. He traumatized her. As everything is happening, he thinks She's down with him. He's young and dumb. She's down with me. No, she's not. She's scared to death. In a situation like that, that's her car. You get out the car and you handle the situation. You run home, do whatever you got to do. But you had her included. I sound like a criminal now, but still, what he did was wrong. And he's going to do a lot of time. He's very much older now. And you do the crime, you do the time.
This is their mindset. I was in the lounge at the airport in Mexico City. This guy stopped me and just wanted to chit chat. He was older, good looking dude. Told me he had a baby on the way. I said, wow. He said, and he had a 3-year-old. I said, do you mind me asking how old you are? 62. He is 62 years old. He then told me that, I said, is this your first marriage? Oh yeah, definitely his first marriage. He said that he was having too much fun with the ladies. And then at the age of 55, he decided that it was time to settle down. And he found a little wife, young wife, who was 36 years old. He then also told me that I should freeze my eggs, even though I already told him I didn't want kids. He said, I may wake up and change my mind and meet a nice fellow. So I'm supposed to freeze my eggs while I'm waiting for somebody in their 60s to decide that they want kids. Seriously? So this is what we're dealing with here. This is the problem. This is the problem.
That's not the problem. It's all your fault. You can't blame a 60-year-old man because all the time when Erykah Badu was saying you need to call Tyrone, you said, I'm a call and tell him come over. She was right there calling Tyrone.
That signed her prenup with invisible ink. So she knew her soon-to-be husband was being a little shady on the side, so she made sure to sign that document with invisible ink. So when the cookie started to crumble, old boy held up the prenup and said, well, you can leave, but you're not getting anything. She said, I didn't sign anything. Lo and behold, there's no signature on the document. So lady gets half everything, okay? And not only does she get half everything, she took her things that she took, the money that she got from the divorce, bought half of the company that he was CEO at, fired him, and then hired like his arch nemesis as the new CEO of the company. Now this story was everywhere a while back, and you can just like search in the search bar for woman signs prenup with invisible ink. The lawyer even did his own video on it and all of that. And I just want to say that girl had her thinking cap on because she knew. She had a plan.
She did.
She had a plan, and she was going to execute that plan, and she did execute that plan. Hats off to you, lady, because you did it.
Wow, that's crazy.
Humanity are the people who continue to have children that you cannot take care of and continue to miss the lesson in what you got going on, who continue to lay down with the type of people who are going to keep you right down there where they laid with you and don't care nothing about you, don't care nothing about themselves, so definitely would not care about another human that y'all create together. And instead of you learning the first, second, third time y'all keep on having these kids, instead of stopping, you trying to fill whatever the wrong hole. You trying to fill the wrong hole. And you need to be praying. You need to be meditating. You need to be getting your life right. You need to be drinking more water. You need to be slowing down. Slow down, homie. How y'all keep having all these kids? Have not taken no time to think or grow up at all whatsoever. And you just digging yourself in deeper and deeper and deeper. And every single one of these kids is a reflection of you. These are your children. If you give up on your kids, that means you give up on yourself, and you been and gave up on yourself. And I bet that won't stop you from laying down and making some more. It's trifling. And the problem is y'all don't have nobody in y'all life willing to tell y'all or able to tell y'all when y'all being trifling. Because people scared of you because y'all like to tussle anytime somebody trying to hold you accountable. I'm not scared of none of y'all. That's trifling. And it ain't nobody telling you it's trifling because they trifling too. Your mama probably trifling. That's a shame. You just come from a whole family, a long line of trifling, and them babies got to pay for it, them babies who did not ask to be here. did not ask for any of this, but they've been forced to exist because your knucklehead won't just pull it together and read a book or something, do something far more productive with your time than laying down with the next crusty man.
Yeah, a lot. There are a lot of ladies doing that. And what did they say? I reacted to a video talking about that yesterday. You know, the things, the ghetto things that happen in the hood. It happens in white communities too. White women are doing it too. I can not put this solely on black people. White people are doing it too. And it's tragic. Why? Because they're growing up and creating tragedies, right? That woman could be raising the next TK. We just saw it just now with the woman reacting. He traumatized that little girl. She's raising the next TK.
Sucks. So my kid's going to Alaska on a soul-searching journey. He's a yogi, and he's just trying to find his place in the world. And it's hard to let him go, but it's his life and his journey to live. It's just hard to watch, because truly we think as parents that we have control, but we have very little control. Honestly, when they're born, they are literally born into the hands of someone else. I mean, a doctor, a doula, someone else holds my kid before I did. So here I am again, crying into the universe.
You know, she's crying because her son will be gone, but I'd be crying because he's going to go be a yogi. That means he'll be struggling. He may be good. They may let him stay there for free, but what does he get? Man, that's a wild life. Like, be out there. Oh, he's going to be out there living it like they did, like John, you know, when he was eating the honey. He was drinking honey. And what animal was that? What bug was that? Locust. Yeah, eating locusts and drinking honey. That life may be the life for him. It can be done. A man in the Bible, I'm sure I can do the same thing. I wouldn't want to do it, but I would if I had to. But yeah, I'd be crying because my son is going down that road. And like, son, what did I teach you your whole life? Seriously. But yeah, you got to let the boy go. You got to let him search things out on his own. And hopefully he comes back in one piece. But yeah, guys, thank y'all for watching. Peace out. See you next video.